Ni wakati wako. Afrika yote ya kusifu, Afrika yote ya kusifu, wa Somali na wa Kongo, wa Rwanda na wa Uganda. Afrika yote ya kusifu, Afrika yote ya kusifu, wa Nigeria, Zimbabwe na Liberia, wa Morocco, wa Makofi, wa kucheza na shangwe, kucheza na shangwe. Kenyans, let's celebrate the doing of the Lord. Wakamba, Wajaluo, Hallelujah. Hapa Kenya Yesu twakusifu. Nairobi Kenya. Hapa Kenya Yesu twakusifu. Wamasai, Wameru, Okomo, Mijikenda, Wamakofi, Nanderemo, kucheza na shangwe, Wamakofi, Nanderemo, Afrika, kucheza shangwe, it's time to celebrate and praise Jehovah. Africa, we love you. And you know Africa, Senegal, Namibia, Africa, come on, Africa, rejoice. Bless the Lord with a praise, Tanzanians, Burundians, Angola, Komoro, Makofi, Nanderemo, kucheza na shangwe, kucheza shangwe. Hapa Kenya Yesu twakusifu. Nairobi, Mombasa, Yesu ni museo, wewe ni mwanadamu. Come on, get joyous, Kambas, Luas, and Messiahs, rejoice!
New week. It's been amazing today. It's 2 p.m. To the Pan African Bliss. Karibuni sana. This is the Pan African Bliss, and that is one of the major amazing songs that actually, let's say, it's kind of religious, but actually unites the whole of the Africans. And I just woke up remembering some of the OG songs today that actually concern Africans, and this is one of them. This is actually done by some of the pastors actually writing the 254, but it's one of the major greatest songs that actually took the whole of Africa, I'd say generally. And for those who understand, especially Swahili, this united Congo, Tanzania, Rwanda, Tanzanians, Ugandans, literally as we rejoice and come together. And where I keep on saying, music is one of the weapons the Africans undermine, I'd say, because music is actually a very strong weapon when it comes to unity. You know, it unites everyone regardless of which tribe you come from, regardless of which country you come from in Africa. It actually puts us all together. But yes, karibuni sana. Hope you guys are doing great today. Hope your weekend was amazing. Mine was fantastic. I can't complain. Ready for the week. And of course, karibuni sana. It's exactly 2 p.m. on the dot, and welcome to another beautiful episode. This is the Black Fire Network, mid of the 21st century, and of course, we get to do this every Monday to Friday. From this specific time, we're supposed to actually start a little bit early, but a little bit of hitches in there, and we've been able to still make it on time. Karibuni again. As today we talk about the constitutional, what did I really write? The constitutional being and African management of the African management of the coast conflicts. We're generally going to be discussing about the constitution. I was supposed to say constitutional design, so I think I missed the I. I'll correct that later. It's design, constitutional, which is put up by design, and of course the African management of the conflicts. Because when you talk about the conflicts, we discussed about this last week. We saw who actually has been paying this terrorism or terrorist wars in Africa, who actually is behind them, how they're contributed by the African puppet. But today we have an amazing, actually, I'd say also I'm learning from my brother, not really learning, but he's giving a speech that we majorly talk about here, but now in deep sense. He talks about, of course, how we have one problem that controls all the African politics. And of course, when you look at the political system globally, it is the same. It is nothing different. It's just that Africa, there's so much mismanagement, and this is where we know this is because this is where the resources that feeds the rest of the world and then reaches the rest of the world where they come from. So when you talk about the mismanagement, it's coming from number one, the exploitation of the people, of the resources. When you talk about also the politicians who have been put here to manage this particular system, because it's management. It's not like they're in control. Like you can see Ibrahim Traore, no, they're not in control. They can't even say anything or make any decisions without checking with the white men who are in control of these countries. So basically, that's what we're going to be focusing on today. But on our top conversations for today, we're going to be starting with, of course, some interesting conversation about agriculture. Of course, you guys know every Thursday I keep on talking about agriculture. So we're going to be looking at actually again another fact, how Africa could feed itself and export food if just 10% of the arable land were modernized. So we're going to be looking at this, how we can actually be able to do this, and why Africa is not doing this is a conversation I keep on having every Thursday and every single day as well. We're going to be talking about also Uganda introducing mandatory National Cleaning Day. And it's just so funny to see how Ugandans decided to actually take this so serious, and that they have been seen on the streets mopping the streets. Actually, this is actually very crazy. And also another question is which roads are in Uganda to be actually maintained or cleaned, and which development is actually in Uganda that people should actually be dedicating their time to go and clean the city, because the city already, number one, or the country already is in a big mess. We talked about the hunger crisis in Karamoja. That was last week, and we saw actually even how back then, due to hunger and the government not caring enough, the Ugandan people have been forced to eat mosquito burgers, and they have made this part of their delicacies. It's super super crazy, and much more of the conversation coming from also Kenya. We're going to be looking at how Ruto, the ex-ICC lawyer, has actually been, of course, accused of sexual assault, and which is making many Kenyans question, could this be a way of now them trying to get Ruto, or I don't know. We're going to be slightly discussing about that, also looking at what was happening still in Kenya, where we had one of the opposition leader which actually organically pulled a massive crowd, as you can see on the screen. Massive crowd, organic. Nobody was paid to turn out. And this is what Ruto hates to see, because on the other side, he had some things to say as well. So we're going to be looking at all that. And of course, our major conversation focusing on, as we talk about how this constitutional the political system has to be changed. This is a debate, I'd say, we can see now many youths understanding that if we don't actually get rid of this system, we'll continue having the same jokes of politicians or leaders, and never development in any sort of way, because it is not designed for us to get any of that. So we have to scrap it all and hold everyone accountable. Shout out to this young guy. I really love him so much. He's a Kenyan. And he was talking about how we need to actually get hold everyone accountable from since when we got independency. Everyone needs to be held accountable from their parents, their grandparents, all their lineage and generation should be held accountable for all the corruptions that have been kept ongoing in these particular countries and systems. So karibuni sana, those are our conversations for today, and I hope you guys again do enjoy these conversations. And in case you're here for the first time, again, I'd love to urge you to subscribe, and of course feel more welcomed after subscribing after we are done with the show, or maybe this time as we take a short break on some of the supplements you can find under our application. Kindly go to the Google Play Store and download our app. You can find us every day on all our platforms. We are on YouTube, we are on Rumble, on BitChute, we're on Spotify, Spreaker, literally everywhere. So long as actually you have the app, or rather use our streaming website, that is the www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. You'll be able to connect with us everywhere and catch up with all the shows. We also have amazing supplements which are super organic, and yeah, I hope you guys do take them. In case you've been looking for vitamins, proteins, or skincare products, we got you covered. And you know keep yourself healthy. Your health is really your wealth. I don't know how many people, until you're pinned down, I feel like until you're really really sick, that's when you value your health. So don't wait until that time that you're pinned down, you cannot move from your bed, you have to be helped to do things. That is the worst ever thing, I tell you, especially when you're sick, because you have to be dependent of people, and it really really sucks, especially when you used to do stuff. I'll give a very short example. I used to see how my mom used to be very very and I've seen it also with myself. Even the time my leg was not okay, I used to hate that I had to depend on people to do stuff for me, like get me things or do this for me because I can't do it or I can't go somewhere. I really hated that. And I used to see that also with my mom. So don't wait until you are sick on the bed. That's when you realize, oh, I should have taken my health serious. Please take your supplements, drink your water, take your fruits, eat organic foods, and stay healthy. But we have some brain and focus. We say critical thinking has been lost, and this actually does
Unlock
help
your
you
full potential
boost your
with Brain and
focus.
Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
And in case you have any questions or facing any difficulties, you can leave your questions or rather anything you'd love to ask or inquire under the same page, under the BHFN Sports page, where you can get these supplements. Once you have the application, of course, it will take you 3 minutes for you to sign in with your username or with your nickname, whatever you'd require or prefer. Just accept the terms and agreements. The first page you meet is the radio segment, where you can stay connected so long as you're doing your chores or rather at work. And so long as you're connected to the internet, we are always on air right here on Black Hot Fire Network. We bring you amazing conversations based on facts and, of course, amazing music. So, of course, as we start with today's conversation, we're going to start with, again, like I've been saying, I've been talking about agriculture. Recently, it's been part of my conversations every Thursday, Farm with Joby. And we've been learning so much for those who have been on these classes, right? We've been learning so much, taking so many notes. And I do wish, it's always been my wish, or I keep on saying it's my wish, actually. It's my wish. The fact that despite I've grown up in a family of farming, it's my wish to actually be, I wish to own a land, I wish to own a land, even just a piece of land. It doesn't have to be so big, just some piece of land where I can just use my backyard, at the back of my house and do my farming, because we especially as women, because I've actually broken so many cultural points which we see many Africans focusing on, and we shouldn't, right? We should not. We've seen so many women losing their lands to relatives or to extended relatives just because they are women and they cannot inherit land. It's something we've talked about. We've seen actually them. It's most of the women are the ones who are active on farming, but they only 15%. We were having that discussion some time back, if you guys can remember last year. It's only 15% of women who actually own land. 15% who own land under their names. So that is a big, big problem. And looking at farming, women are still the ones actually, let's say, still very much active in farming. Yes, men are, but I do feel like due to generational wealth being taken away from us, and since the colonial era, so many men also, they have lost their ancestral lands. So not so many people grow up with farming, just like the video we shared last week. The guy explained very well. He's not grown up in an ancestral land. He has not grown up farming, but due to information here and there, and of course having enough money, that is something else. He has been able to buy a land on lease, and he has started doing his business. It's not just farming, it's now a business. Now let's look at the facts, because we talk about Africa largely, how we've been affected when it comes to land, but we still have a big percentage of land. We talk about 65% arable land, right? Let's look at, maybe there could be changes. Let's look at today. What's the percentage of Africa arable land? Let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, 65%. 60 to 65, it's not changed. The continent holds roughly 60 to 65% of the world's remaining uncultivated and uncultivated global used arable land. Imagine 60 to 65. Generally it's 65%. So the question is, why do we import food still? That is a big question. Why is Africa still dependent on the West, or countries that are actually trying to kill us, like Ibrahim Traore said it very clearly, to provide us food? Why won't we use our lands to actually create job opportunities and to start trading with each other as African countries, as a continent? Because when talking about 65%, that is of the continent, meaning every country has so much uncultivated land that we can use for different purposes. We should actually do research on which countries are good in producing what, which countries are good in producing what. And from there, this is why we cut the bullshit of these fake borders, open them, all of them, withdraw the visas, like we've been seeing other countries doing so, and in a very quick way, which I actually love. But I always say, if the African Union, again, was a working organization, this is where, when one decision is made by one country, I'll always go for that. This is what you can see the Alliance Sahel state is doing. When one decision is made by one country, the rest follow. It's an agreement. It's not a one, or who is in, who is out, who is the most corrupt, who is not. No, it's a decision which should be made by the whole continent, because it favors the people of the continent and the continent itself. So we should cut the bullshit of the borders. Again, do research, have people who have information, who have studied about agriculture. Let's gather information and brains, see which country, this country can produce rice. If it's Tanzania, Kenya can produce maize. Okay, Rwanda can produce millet, then Uganda can produce bananas. Congo can produce cassava, let's say, then Republic of Congo can produce yams, and go on and on and on and on and on. Go to Ghana, they're producing coffee. Nigeria, they produce bushmeat, and so and I'm joking about it, right? But with that information gathered, we sit down on a board and we say, now we get rid of the borders, we get rid of the visas, And let's now create employment, because this is where you create now employment. You're creating serious employment. Gather a number of youths, again, those maybe who are a little bit informed and would love to get into this sector of farming, and let the least to have information, and which of course also I believe there should be, this comes with the change of the schools, also people growing up learning about farming. That is the only way we can be able to move forward, and generations will catch up understanding, hey, we live in a country that is active in this and this and this, and then we start trading. So if Tanzanians don't have maize and I don't have rice, they give me rice, I give them maize. Of course, I'm going to have a big portion of what remains in the country, and they'll have enough, because it's not going to be just Kenya producing maize. I bet probably even maybe Congo or Rwanda, since we eat ugali everywhere, bet there's a supply of maize. Or whatever you use to cook ugali. If it's yams, there are people who use cassava, like Nigerians, for ugali. So it's a big question and very worrying, why Africa every day we should be very concerned about ourselves, how we have this much percentage of land and we still import food. And what even export, even when you talk about exporting, it's sad to see that we're exporting some of the when we're talking about the market, when we've been talking about the market when it comes to farming, this is something that should be tappable here. It should be tappable, if there's such a term. The market should be able to be tapped here in the continent. African farmers should be able to make money here. But because we've been importing and exporting, we will never understand the value we bring and being taken away. So yes, Africa could feed itself and export food. Could feed itself and export food if just 10% of the arable land were modernized. Africa has the natural resources to become one of the world's leading food producers. The continent is home to around 60% of the world's uncultivated arable land, and yet much of it's farmed using traditional methods with limited access to modern irrigation, machinery, improved seeds, storage, and infrastructure. Experts estimate that if just 10% of Africa's arable land were modernized, food production could increase dramatically, enough to feed the continent's growing population while creating a surplus for export. This would strengthen the security, of course, food security, generate millions of jobs, like I said, and boost rural incomes, exactly, to those farmers, and position Africa as a major player in the global agricultural market. So the question is, why do we fail to do so? Goes back to, again, the designed constitution, the designed system, and Africa management of its resources and the coast conflicts. The designed system, it has been designed from the word go, because I always say, I wish we could see and go back to the papers. What was the agreement? Because like we learned recently, based on these papers that were signed by these puppets, the first so-called presidents of African countries, we saw Kenya recently that we're still paying pensions. So this means this was part of the deal of our freedom, that we're going to continue paying pension. So what many other more agreements were part of us being given freedom is something that actually we need to think about. As a continent, what was actually given away, or we have to keep on giving till to date, and so on, if we don't fight this system for the sake of our freedom. Those papers is something you need to actually see what was in them. If only we could get a leak or see. We saw in Kenya, even the political system, how it's been set up. It's only been 2 tribes ruling this country. Shout out to Katie. She's the one who revealed that paper when it leaked. That apparently, under the agreement of the so-called freedom or independency, it was agreed that only 2 tribes shall rule this country, the Kikuyus and the Kalenjin. And it's been how many years of independence? And it's been the same way how it was allegedly written in the papers. So what was the cost of freedom? That is actually the real question. What was the cost of freedom, and how are we still paying it till to date? Because when you talk about agriculture, for me, it seems it's one of the cost of the freedom that we had to give up. We had to give up farming. We had to give up our lands, which of course, even some we didn't give up. They were forcefully taken away from us, still being taken away from us by the same managers of these countries, the puppets, the presidents, because all they're doing is just managing. They're not controlling anything. They don't have power to. That's why they want Ibrahim so gone, because he's showing what freedom should feel like, how freedom should look like. You can make decisions by yourself, on yourself, with your people included. Not this inclusivity of the bullshit of democracy, yet the people are never included. Not the fake democracy term. Because the fake democracy has been selling us the inclusivity, but we're never included in decision making. So that's why we go back again. Were the people included in these signed papers for us to be given, to get freedom for the cost of what we're suffering till to date? Because this is one of it. Resources is another thing. What else? We had to keep up with the religion. We had to keep up with the schools, the prisons, the hospitals. A designed system that does not work for the people. It doesn't work for us. And Africans, men, this is why we've been denied education. Because this is really, really deep. This is very, very deep. Every time you should snap you. There's a lady who was saying, I'm going to share a video. She was talking about slavery in America. She was saying that for her, she feels slavery in America was just 250 years ago, not 400 years ago. And I'll share her point. But exactly, when you talk about, I don't know, independency, or we're celebrating 60 years, I don't know how many, this shit is so recent. It needs if we are given real information and education, we need to be, our heads need to be snapping every single time when we're trying to sleep, and why people are trying to convince us to be our friends or cooperate and collaborate with our political system. Because this is why they have been able to capture us. I love the video I have because it explains it so well, how they structured this system in a, it's everything. There's yes, religion, tribalism, education, there's a lot. And all those weapons have worked so well. And where they captured us actually very, very well was 2, which they still control us: education and religion. Because when you don't know anything, you can't question anything. When you're not given the real information, and the same enemy comes and lies to you, you're not going to see anything wrong, because you've been fed the wrong information from the word go. Again, shout out to Keith. How do you unlie? How do you unlearn a lie? It's crazy. And just to go through the comments, again, let's see what people actually are saying. Someone says we don't need universities education to know this reality. That is so true, but again, we do. I do agree with that comment, but again, we do. One thing that also Africans, and I feel like I love the fact that I talk about it, because I barely hear many people talking about it from my perspective. Generally, I've never had anyone trying to explain deeper the way I do, actually, and I'm gonna brag about it, because I feel like people, again, critical thinking is not critically thinking. You know, yes, we do need universities, primaries, high schools, education to know this reality. We do, because again, we're talking to a population or generation of people who do not understand history. Okay? A good example is my country, Kenya. When we're taught about the Mau Mau, and I've said it again, it's not in our textbooks. It's not in our textbooks why we were fighting the Mau Mau. Why the Mau Mau were fighting for freedom. What freedom? Because on the other hand, understand, we're being told and sold the missionary bullshit. So you want to tell me, and this is why actually now when the white people justify Mau Mau as terrorists or rebel groups, it works in their favor. Because on the other hand, if we're being sold, these people came as missionaries, they helped us, or they helped us, like they keep on bragging, oh, without them, we should be thankful because they brought us kingdoms, empires. They're not talking about how they destroyed, they're talking about how they stole. We know they stole, how they stole and claimed everything to be them. So I'm gonna take, maybe, let's say, just a child, and of course this is, understand how this is, it damages us in the brain from us being kids. When you take a child and tell them mzungu came here to give you shoes, they gave you food, you're the reason you're surviving because of the mzungu. And without this mzungu, and also focusing on religion, come on, like your god is a mzungu, you can't do, your life needs this mzungu. So obey the mzungu, love the mzungu, respect the mzungu, never question the mzungu. And then you have the Mau Mau who are trying to save these children from being brainwashed this way, right? But it's so hard for this child to understand this Mau Mau fighter, because they have not been taught that this is an invader. This is someone who's actually brainwashing you. They don't even understand what that is. The first-hand information that came to them is that this is a warrior. This is a savior. So you're the bad guy. You're the Mau Mau. You're trying to fight my savior. So you're the bad guy. So terrorism, when it applies on the white people use it for trying to describe the Mau Mau freedom fighters, it favors them because of the two hands information we're given. I don't know if I'm making sense, but I do understand that you guys understand me. I do know. So this is just, again, when it comes to our lands, we've not been taught, and not so many people have the information. Lands were stripped away from so many generations, or from our ancestors, from our great grandparents. We were not taught. This is the reason why the Mau Mau people, they were trying to fight for their, that's right. The direct information, how I'm saying it, is not in the books. So why people will need this education to understand farming, and why we have 60% arable of land and it's untapped, and how we can actually still change this, or people are not informed. If you say we don't need universities to educate us, this should be a known reality. You sound like that minister of Uganda at this point. And just being honest, you sound like that Ugandan minister. It's only a fool who can die of hunger. What do you mean? People are eating mosquito burger, you're not addressing that. It's only a fool who can die of hunger in Uganda. What do you mean? Let's look at how much actually Uganda imports in terms of food. And this is why you understand information is very important. Let's look at what's the percentage of food imported by Uganda. Then you see how many fools. Okay, so apparently Uganda imports roughly 5% of the total food items it consumes domestically, producing about 95% of its own food, according to the national statistics. In terms of total merchandise trade value, food and live animals make up roughly 12 to 13.5% of the country's total goods import. I still don't believe it. I don't buy it. If it's 95%, then why isn't the Minister of Food Security not taking the same food to Karamoja, where we were discussing on Friday, where we can see people are dying of food? Why can't they supply food within their country to save those who are in hunger, yet they're calling for the European Union, the United Nations to help them? Why? 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 If this is the statistics, critically thinking, using your brain, why would you go beg for food outside or wait for white people come tell you you need aid in terms of this and this, yet you actually produce 95% of food? It's not making sense to me. So for me, yes, we do need universities because people don't even know farming. Trust me, there are people don't even know how to seed. There are people don't know how to weed. There are people don't know how to plow. There are people don't know so many things. So that is actually very much required. Someone also says your definition of modernity is misunderstood. Biodiversity, in fact, ecosystem and small-scale organic farming is more sustainable, hence modern. It's not really misunderstood. For me, according to me, I understand the article very well. And this is why we do need universities. Someone also says, how can we get more information about this? What we need is to fight for our lands. We don't need any more information. We need to be educated and fight for our lands, because the white people are trying to destroy, I bet even this 65% of what is remaining is what they're trying to grasp. And then someone says, of course, Europeans don't want that. Yes, that's now a real fact. Might have to add China to the list as well. Africans need to do more for Africa. Exactly. And then also someone says, too busy decolonizing and taking over the economy from the minority instead of building one for itself. Too much ideology, philosophy, and not enough picking up a spade and digging an irrigation channel. Africa is feeding itself, or you think Europe is feeding Africa? Europe is feeding Africa. Africa is feeding itself, but not at that large scale. We've been so dependent on the European system, which is not designed to help us, but to kill us. Okay? It's not designed to help us, but to kill us. But yes, let me know what are your thoughts regarding that. Shout out to John Mosquito. Hope you're doing great today, and hope you had a beautiful weekend. Wishing you a beautiful week ahead. Say mchana mwema, mdomo wa gari. Guy, waniambia niko na mdomo wa gari yani? Hayo matusi hayo. Hayo ni matusi. Kaka, hayo ni matusi. Hayo ni matusi. Haya ni matusi, chunga sana, usinitukane mie tafadhali kwa heshima zako. But also says that's for talking shit about Ghana and and bushmeat. I said Ghana produces coffee, Nigeria produces bushmeat, which was a joke. But yes, if the shoe fits, you might as well wear it. Thank you. And you're saying that you're making sense. Yes, we get it. I do appreciate you are getting it. But moving on, we have, of course, some news and updates from East Africa. The Ugandan president, who has introduced mandatory National Cleaning Day, requiring citizens to clean homes and public spaces for 3 hours. Yes. So Uganda has introduced mandatory National Cleaning Day, requiring citizens to spend 3 hours cleaning their homes and neighborhoods and public spaces for the last Saturday of every month. The exercise will take place from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. and is aimed at improving sanitation, preventing disease outbreak, and promoting environmental responsibility. And look at Kenyans. Kenyans are laughing. Kenyans are shown no mercy. Kenyans are just laughing. Kenyans are really bad people. Kenyans are just cracking down, because the question is, Which, number one, which specific area is sanitization supposed to be maintained? I'm just asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. Which let's hear Museveni first. Because Museveni, let's see, listen.
Reminds all members of the public
And he's
that the National Cleaning Day will be observed tomorrow, Saturday, 25th July 2026, from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. across the country.
I don't know whether you guys are supporting this, but for me, this cleaning exercise that's supposed to take place tomorrow doesn't make sense to me. Because first and foremost, Kampala does not need cleaning. Cleaning cannot help Kampala. The level at which Kampala is in right now, cleaning cannot save it.
Thank you. Exactly. Because what are we cleaning, number one? What? I'm asking for a friend. What? I've not been to Uganda, but I don't need to be told anything. I know so much. So much. But a few people I grew up with, I know so much. So much. And I see so much on the internet. So which part of Uganda? I'm asking for a friend. Of course, there's pretty places in Uganda, but just like Kenya and many African countries, these are rich people estates, right? If you go to Kilimani, Runda, Lavington, Kileleshwa, Westlands, you're not going to find these places looking nasty. There are always, number one, people who are there cleaning. There's also, actually, there's a new place in Kenya called Tattoo City. Tattoo City. The Chinese are in control, allegedly, of that certain environment because they have like many companies there, so many things going on there. And that city, Tattoo City, I remember the last time we went there was in 2024. There was a big concert. We went as Blackout Fire, me, Dimore, Sheila, Shmani, Iwaton. It was amazing. But it is super clean. There, if you drop a water bottle or even a piece of paper, my friend, you're being fined. You pay thousands of Kenyan shillings. Nobody wants to do that. You're not going to risk. Hey, who wants to pay thousands of Kenyan shillings for dropping a piece of paper? So that is, I'd say it's a few towns or areas, and of course, rich environments. But if you go to places like Kibera, come on, Madare, Dandora, because you guys, Kenya, we don't just have Kibera as a slum. We have Madare. You guys look at Madare. You can find when you find the time. Look at Dandora. Dandora is where we have one of the biggest Kenyan dumping site. Actually, it is where we have our main dumping site. That is one of the dirtiest places. I'm telling you, dirtiest. Our government has failed to find ways of recycling garbage, and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. But back to Uganda. I was just giving an example. Back to Uganda, I bet it's the copy and paste. And now it's even worse because those roads are full of dust, my friend. And it's the red dust. You know that conch red dust? So yes, Ugandans need to stop joking.
We need to start thinking of long-term solutions.
I know.
That road you're claiming that you're going to clean tomorrow, I can assure you, after cleaning, in the next 1 or 2 minutes, it's going to become dirty again.
Of course.
You would have just wasted your time.
Of course, because number one, we have institutions that have not been set up correct from the word go. Okay? This issue of dumping papers, whatever, everywhere, I'm guilty. I threw up some orange piles last week on the road. I felt really bad, by the way. I really felt very, very guilty. But I didn't have, my bag was not big enough and it was so clean for me to put my orange piles there, So I just had to throw the pills outside. I felt really bad. It's not what we're supposed to be doing. I normally, actually, if I eat a banana, if anything I've eaten, I'll have my trash just like this. I'll have my trash and take it to the trash when I get home, or maybe in the studio or my destination where there's a trash can. But since we have non-working institutions which have failed to set up this kind of system where actually there should be trash cans in every area, whether it's a matatu stage, because in town we have that. In town, at least, in town, In Nairobi CBD, it's kind of well maintained, a little bit, because when you're caught actually throwing trash, you'll be arrested and you'll be fined immediately there by the city councils. But also, the city council themselves, they're not doing their job. Normally, growing up personally, the city councils were not there to arrest people who are minding their business and working. Their job was to clean the city, to ensure the city by every morning you have a broom and a whatever dustpan to pick up your trash and ensure the city is clean. But the city councils of today, under Ruto's regime and the previous ones, it was only working during Kibaki's time. They have become like police officers. Their work is to arrest people who are just hawking and minding their business. You know? So it cannot work. This cannot work. It's going to take a lot of work, generally for the whole of Africa. We know Rwanda is one of the countries that is strict. I'm yet to actually see it personally. I'm yet to see so much about Rwanda. I cannot just judge without seeing. Leave alone what you're being shown on the screen. You gotta be on the ground now. You gotta experience now. You cannot judge a book by its cover now. That is Rwanda. So I'm not judging a book by its cover and just saying this is a perfect book. Vice versa of what, don't judge a book by its cover. I'm judging that book by its cover personally. So yeah, I'm yet to see Rwanda, how it is maintained. But we've heard it from many tourists. They say Rwanda is a clean country. You cannot just drop, you even leave your $20 on the, come on. Yo, we gotta experience that. We got to. But Uganda is a joke.
We need to start thinking of long-term solutions. First and foremost, the roads need to be tarmacked.
Yep.
Because when the roads are tarmacked, we shall get
Uganda police force.
Exactly. The roads are so dusty. What are you talking about? These are the type of roads they're talking about. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the roads they're talking about. So people started the cleaning. They were mopping the roads.
Uganda is so nice.
How you gonna clean that up?
If you're a fool, you can survive here.
How you gonna clean that mud and shit up? This is a moron. 40 years in power, and the country's impoverished. Can't show nothing he's done. What benefit is having this moron in power for 40 years done in Uganda? They ain't got out of poverty. It's impoverished. And I'll be sending you guys to Rwanda by the end of the year. If you talk that shit, the government's gonna lock your black ass up.
I'll talk my shit. I'm in Africa, goddammit. Come on. Karibu sana. How you doing?
Santi Sana. Okay, how about you? How's your weekend?
My weekend was awesome. Not bad. What about
Okay.
you? You did no shows, of course. That's why you're
And
here.
I couldn't make no thumbnail. I couldn't make no thumbnail. Shit,
I knew it. Like, because
I couldn't make no. I couldn't make no thumbnails right. Shit. And then Sunday I had to leave. Sunday I had to drive down here to South Florida. So shit. And it's storming like shit out here, boys. I wonder if there's a hurricane off the coast. Damn. It's storming like shit down here. Middle Florida. But no, I didn't. Yeah, I should have. I didn't do nothing. I got no excuse. Friday I did fall asleep after the show, but I still should have did the show Saturday. But like, man, I don't know how to make no decent thumbnails, man. Everybody's thumbnails look all cool looking. Where they getting these thumbnails from? Shit. Anyway, but yeah. Huh?
Anyway, yeah, Karibu. So yeah, we're talking about Uganda. We're just discussing a bit of the cleaning and talking about the institutions, how they have been set up from the word go. These roads, or people cannot even maintain cleanliness because from the word go, you never set up any working institution or system. So
No.
people just throw trash everywhere, dust everywhere. Everyone who eats whatever, they throw it everywhere.
And let me ask that question, because I think Nigeria's one of the worst. What's with Africans that you guys don't throw shit in trash? Why is it trash every fucking where? How do you live in that? How do you? I was going to ask this question. How do Africans just live in filth like that? It be trash. It ain't Kenya. It's Africa. Just throw shit on the ground. Be a bunch of garbage every fucking where. I'm like, God damn. Don't somebody just? I mean, God damn. Like, who wants to live in this trash? Have you guys seen fucking Legos? I'm gonna just put a video up on TikTok say Legos now because of the rain that just happened, the flooding. I mean, it's the government's fault, but it's also the people's fault. I mean, because they still shit in the street openly in Legos. It stinks. God damn, it's just filthy. It's like filthy behavior. So during the rains, all that garbage and trash and shit. And you got motherfuckers in Legos with Bentleys, Rolls Royce. You can't have Bentleys and Rolls Royce, moron, if you got fucked up infrastructure. Reason why they work in Europe, Asia, and America, because they built the infrastructure. Africa, you built no fucking viable infrastructure. You want to be driving a Rolls Royce in the fucking middle of that shit like that? Like Nigeria was muddy, rainy, and trash every fucking way. Like, you out of your... It's like, what's wrong with the African mind? Are you fucking retarded? You must build, besides even railway, you must build viable infrastructure, not the car. Build the infrastructure first, stupid. Because you can't have nice cars without decent infrastructure, dummy. You can't have a bunch of potholes.
All of the flooded
go ahead, Joe.
Areas from your streets.
What's that?
Right? To the canal.
Go ahead, Joe. What you playing? What's that? Go ahead.
Look
What's
at
this?
how clogged the
Oh, yeah.
is.
Look at this shit.
Sure.
Yeah. That's Nigeria, right?
Yeah. Let me correct my sound. I don't think it has sound. Let me correct. Yeah, that's Nigeria.
No, that sound. It has sound. That's not. It has sound. It has sound. I was like, look, and then that's how fucked up the African man. How the fuck can you walk around and shit like this? You're a laughing stock on the planet. That's why they call you stupid. Why people don't respect your stupid ass. Why they call you low IQs. Who fucking lives like this? And you're supposed to be an African giant. Are you out of your fucking mind? African giant, my ass. Because that's the worst fucking country on in Africa. That fucking backward ass failed state.
I tried counting at one point.
Imagine what that smell like. Piss, shit.
Push the dirt away, and so that
diseases
will not get flooded or will not get clogged more, right? But you're trying to push the dirt. It's going to cause another havoc somewhere.
This is also the failure of creating industrial or manufacturing.
As a failure. But the African mindset, I'll go pray to Jesus. I go pray to pray. See, that's why I got to pray, because shit work. Shit like that right there. The government will say, hey, we got to take immediate countrywide action. This got to be fixed now. This is our #1 priority, because this causes diseases. This makes us laughing stocks on the planet, and this is unsafe. It's got to be addressed now. Don't need no more goofy speeches. It's got to be addressed. That's got to be fixed within the fucking month. So you have people out there cleaning that trash up, building systems that, like Joe said, institute systems that actually work to get shit up. That's why Nigeria's a failed state. It's a failed state and ran by morons. It's a failed state. The electricity don't work. You got fucking what's those things called? Generators and all they goddamn buildings because the power don't work. It's a failed state. They won't even rise up to overthrow these more. The country does not work. That's why all these Nigerians are everywhere. Nigerians are everywhere because their country is fucked up and no one's ever addressed it. It's a wicked ass country of slavery And things have never been addressed. And they give me, oh, don't talk about country, but go back to it. And none of these Nigerians want to go. I tell you right now, they're in Canada. You guys didn't know. You guys looked up Canada. They refused. These guys came for the World Cup. The Canadians, the Nigerians and the Ghanaians. And they refused to go back to Ghana and Nigeria. Yeah, you got to go. You came for the World Cup. It's time to go. Like, no, we're not going back. They went to Canada. A lot of them came to America and went to Canada. So yeah, they come through Canada. You guys went to America first. Well, we seeking asylum in Canada. You know, Trump will throw their ass out. So they up in Canada, refuse to go back to Ghana and Nigeria. It's crazy because you will not fight. And like Joby said, you're not even taught. Well, you Nigerians never fought for shit. The British realized that the Africans, like the Kenyans and all other people, were fighting to get you out of there. So they just built a scheme to give you goopy Nigerians freedom, which never did. The British control Nigeria, they do Kenya. But these Kenyans fought, but they can't put that in their books. That Kenya, the white man didn't give you freedom. You fought this white man for stealing your shit. That was what the war was about. You getting back your stuff that they stole. He wasn't fighting them because he was a missionary and he taught you the wrong scripture. Because he was beat. Go ahead,
I was trying to explain because I was trying to read the comment of the person who was saying we don't need universities to teach us about farming.
You need the white university because university system was created by Africans. You created Europe was backward and stupid. You created the university system, guys, to teach right information, farming, agriculture, what's it called? Animal husbandry, how to have animals and slaughter them and all that shit. Also mathematics, geography, science. Be universal knowledge. University, where the term came from. That came from Africa. So yes, you need universities. You just can't teach white people shit in them. You got to throw it out and go back to Afrocentric curriculum that frees up the mind. You've been taught a lot of nonsense. Like even Torrey said, you worship your enemy who came and slaughtered, beat you, raped you. I love you, white daddy. Because you've been taught he's a missionary. You're out of your fucking mind. How did the missionary get your land? Because he's a missionary. How does the missionary come take all your fucking land? Like Joey said, critical thinking. How am I a missionary and now I got the biggest farms in Africa? Huh? Because I'm teaching you about some goopy white man with fucked up feet running around with a dirty robe on. But I got all your, how's that equate to me getting all your land? And you working for me? What kind of goofy religion is this?
Yes, I was trying to explain that and even looking at what we're looking at here.
Look at this shit there. Look at this. Look at this shit here. This is absolutely insane.
That's something you keep saying, that it's crazy that Africans think they should be living this way. It is so sad that we think we should actually live in this way. I saw a very amazing comment today in the morning of someone who's saying it's sad that people don't understand your environment affects your life. And most of the people who are in poverty, they are comfortable because they think that is how life should be. I was born in poverty, so no change. That's how life is. That's how God wanted.
Look, I rather die. See, I don't know. That's what I said. That's like Joby just said. I don't understand the African mind. I'd rather live in. I'd rather die. I'd rather go revolution. Get shot in the head. Trying to. I can't live in that shit. Joby, look right there. I can't live in that. There's no way I can go to any church. I can't go to no church. I can't go to no mosque. Scream about fucking fake Allah, fake Jesus, and I'm living in this shit right here, Joey Show. There's no way I can live in that shit there. There's no way. There's no way. I can't do it. To me, I think I'd go crazy. Outside, you can live. Imagine what that shit smells like, piss and shit. All that shit, right? Look at it. Miles of that shit.
It smells
Miles
bad.
of that
Trust me,
shit.
this is the one. It is, and it is copy and paste in most of the even Kenya. There are places
It is.
which
It is.
like this.
It's copy and paste to it.
You'll
I
find
know it's copy and paste
dead
to
animals
Africa.
on trash like this, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Damn.
when it rains, you ask yourself why actually we have. This is the number one contribution, because you're not taking care of our environment actually as the people. The fact that you can see already we have a failed system and politicians who don't deliver. We should be the number one people who care about our environment. That is just the truth. That is just the truth. We should be the ones.
You're right, but you're exactly right, Jobin. But
we should be unclogging. We should be unclogging these clogged, water drainages, so we can allow water to pass easily when it floods. But look at this. What is this? This is such a shame. And this is.
But when you have you have people driving around Nigeria with goddamn Bentleys and Rolls Royces and this shit. Your infrastructure's fucked up, moron. So, but this is the thing of not having self-worth, Joe. You don't care about, because the white man gave that. White man told you you wasn't shit, and you have not come to terms with that programming. So you believe in that shit. So you believe you're supposed to live in shit like this. Like Joey said, this copy and paste. This is all around black Africa. It ain't in the Arab countries. This is black Africa. Where their minds are fucked up. They believe they're not supposed to have shit. They believe they're supposed to be poor. They believe they ain't shit. Let some white man come and say, okay, I'm the white man. I come to save you backward ass niggas. Well, let me show you niggas start cleaning that up now. And don't throw trash and shit on the ground when shit looks like that. You're not smart enough to realize you don't throw trash in your environment. I mean, don't do it. I'm the white man. Let me show you not to do it. Okay, white daddy, you're right. You're closer to Jesus. I didn't know not to throw trash and shit in my own environment where it looks all like I ain't know not to doo-doo in the street. So imagine all this water and shit and pissing all that shit. That shit cholera, that shit's disease ridden. But as a government, as a man, since the men run all of Africa, women sure don't. You would think common sense, critical thinking. You know, guys, you come to go and say, guys, this is bad. We got to go to Lagos. We must clean this up immediately. This destroys our reputation on the world stage as a goddamn civilized people. Civilized. So we must immediately get a task. No speeches. Anybody do a speech, I'm locking your ass up. Go get some shovels and some trash cans and some trash bags. We're going to be out there for a month cleaning all this shit up, and there will be recycling plants built. So in 2 months, you should have all that shit done. Not no speech. A speech, I'm locking you up. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like even so, shit don't work. And these African man is a failure. It's a failure. Because when you got your people living this kind of shit, and you don't have no concern, you're fucked up in the head. There's no way I can have my people living no shit like that and go to sleep at night, lay my head down, and wear a fucking thick ass God I'm worshiping. Allah, the northern part of Nigeria is that Allah bullshit. The southern part is that Jesus shit. So either one of these group of religions ain't stopped that. Why isn't Allah taught you to clean up that shit right there? Why isn't Jesus? Jesus can't even walk in that with his fucked up feet. His feet will be full of doo-doo. So what are you gonna do? You know, come on. As adults, and this is why whenever you go, you African leaders, when you go to the UN, you know, you get these people walk out, they don't listen to you, they know you're puppetly stupid. And look at this. You think you will get tired of everybody making jokes about the African continent? Because there's going to be some white people filming, going down to make money for YouTube. They go, look at this shit with these goofy niggas. Hey, look at this. Why they supposed to be look at this trash. So they can get poverty porn money. Look at this trash. All these backward ass niggas. Look at this shit here. They can't even clean up shit like this. What's wrong with their brains? Look at that. Because it be some African. Oh, you got money? Yeah, here you go, you dirty nigga. Take the dollar. Take a couple dollars, you dirty, filthy nigga. Look how Look how impoverished they live. Look at the savagery. Understand what they gonna do? But you would think when you see that it's about like even about your dignity. Dang, do you got any dignity as a man? What will you not do for your own dignity and your people's dignity globally? You can't go. Another thing, you goopy Africans, you can't leave your continent and expect some people to respect you when the shit looks like that. They don't. They won't. They don't and they won't. So, but you have these goopy Nigerians talk about their fake Jesus, their fake white man. Okay, can you take your fake Jesus, your fake white man, clean all that shit up then, please? So you don't make black people look fucked up. Because look, we get judged, whether you guys know it or not, all black people get judged by this. We're not from Nigeria, but we all get judged by this shit here. The world looks at us as black people. Hate to tell you that. You can be Ghana, Kenya. I'm in America. The world looks at me with that shit there because I'm African. Hate to tell you that. It's not right. It's not right. But that's the way the world works. Because the world looks at white people as one white people. All the white people's countries are all developed. France, England, America, Australia, Germany, Switzerland, and all these nigger countries are all fucked up and underdeveloped and got trash and shit. That's all I get. So the funny part about it, 50 years ago, we didn't have no Africans in the country because that was white man. There wasn't no African people, just us, right? So the funny part, I hear the African, oh, you call African booty scratchers. But it was the black American that was called the African booty scratcher by white people. Because we had no Africans in here. We had us black Americans, African Americans here. So we were called the black booty scratchers. Joey said, what's a black booty scratcher? A black booty scratcher means this, Joey. That shit right there, that filth, that garbage. That's what it means. Africa's full of people in poverty and garbage. And like even Tiani said the same thing. If you guys look, you guys will get a speech by Tiani. We're wealthy. How are we all impoverished? Exactly. Like Joey said in the beginning. How's Africa people poor? You live on the richest continent on the planet. Everybody's taking from that. Everybody's fueling their whole life from African people. What's going on? Good.
Let me share this video of this brother who is breaking down so many points about how Africa suffers the same problem politically because of tribalism, religion, how this system, of course, is set up by design. But before I actually share that one, which brought me to this conversation, let me share this one of this Kenyan who said it very well. Let me share this just a minute. Share this video.
As we approach 2027, even 2021, the only way Kenya will see a better tomorrow is if we make changes in our leadership systems. This must ensure that all the previous people who are directly or indirectly involved in economic crimes and crimes against humanity running the past 60 years are severely held accountable.
Yes, so since the fake independence, anyone who has been in this system should be held accountable. No excuse. All of them should be held accountable because they have managed, like I'm using the right term, they have managed to keep this system running under their so-called bosses or elites.
Not unless this regime is replaced by an equivalent system which strictly upholds the rule of law. For more than 60 years now, the structure of Kenyan governance has been filled with nothing but cons and colonial puppets who have perpetrated endless injustices against the people.
I told the Africans understand, especially the Kenyans. That's right. He knows it. So if I say it, people get mad. Like, Camus, you can't say that. Moron, don't blame me because you're stupid. He tell you the truth. You've been the colonial puppets have ruled African countries. These are facts. I didn't do it. I'm just explaining to you what happened. Don't get mad at me. But go ahead, Joe.
Just because they prefer living lavish. Kusema Ruto must go is the main objective means that you're limiting the struggle to only one man, which is completely pointless because Kenya.
That's what I told Joey. I said he understands it. I told him. I said Joey, don't make the difference. You can't put, yes, I think I would, the shag woman. No! The whole puppet system gotta go. You can't change it one puppet for another puppet. You gotta get somebody that comes from you to change the system. You can't change him with somebody else because he's not Rugo. We go.
Impunity in our society must be severely punished. We need corrupt proceedings being restored to the public.
He's right. Severely punished.
Working towards this, you're busy being bought, manipulated and divided by the same taxes you toil day in day out for. Tama yako inakuaje kubwa hadi unasahau unajibia, which is illogical because siniwe bado tutakaskizia. The political class has managed to lie to you that a better tomorrow is coming. Meanwhile, they're looting from you as if a national disaster is coming.
And this why Kenya is going to start paying more school fees because there's too many educated Kenyans now. They got to put into that shit. White man's got to put into this shit. Go ahead, Joe.
Who supported the revolution in 2024 are the same people currently supporting the same regime that killed their fellow young citizens in cold blood just because they can. If you're not willing to hold this entire murderous cartels accountable, then stop wasting our time. Let me declare that every single soul Kenya was robbed due to misuse of power by our police and executive will not rest in peace until true justice is served. Jana silikuwa Alberto Juang, kesho itakuwa wewe. True justice is not shouting one time. True justice is Kenyans uniting in one purpose, which is making sure that accountability is a no debate. It's high time we build a society governed by the rule of law, not opportunists. Kama kusema one term ndio itaklia hii ODS debt. Sikaende basi. Young Kenyans, I thought we had meaningful ambitions. All of a sudden tumerudi default settings. Zetu tu za kuwatch siasa kama game ya World Cup. The same opportunists that worked with Uhuru, worked with Ruto, sasa bado wanachukua positions na ndio psycho meamwa inabamba. Sio, ukweli ni as long as mtu yote from these cartels of corrupt politics akitake over, Ruto will lose nothing because all the money and resources he and his regime has stolen from us will never be recovered. If bad comes to us, then our economy will soon collapse because the same looters will milk the country dry by funding leaders they and the Western powers want. Vitu zikiendelea hivi, in 2030 you'll be a slave of the new world order, which means you'll own nothing and be happy. If you're not ready to face reality, reality will face you. Kenyans don't need development. We need adherence to the constitution and the rule of law. Once this is fixed, Kenya will automatically grow to unprecedented lengths. A nation doesn't become free, it becomes free when the law protects every citizen equally. The old generation never questioned impunity or accepted correction.
Africa's underdeveloped because of this. Africa's underdeveloped because of the system. When you change the system, Africa will automatically develop because it'll be the nature. Exactly right, young man. You were underdeveloped on purpose. It's not so. If you change the system, your country will start developing normally because that's the nature. Go ahead, Joe.
To take will only end up in poverty. Young Kenyans, as you utilize your energy in enjoying your youth, remember that you have a future to show up for. My name is Derek Charles Mtende, an independent aspirant vying for the Member of Parliament position representing...
And he won't get it, trust me.
Hell no, they let his ass, hell no.
They will not give him a chance because that's a big challenge. What do you mean all of us need to go to jail? We need to be held accountable. And you want to join us? You go to jail. Actually, we take you 6 feet under where you belong. But this guy is explaining generally now Africa, why it doesn't work, which is the same thing he said. The system, how it has been set up. We have to deal with this system which has been of nepotism, corruption, tribalism, religion, always using religion as a weapon.
Exactly. That's it. And what Joe was saying is true. That's why even to Ray told you about the religion. And all the religious people go, oh, we're going to get rid of you, church. You understand? The fake white Arab. Shout out to the white man who mentioned saying, I said, no, these Arabs are all poor. They're not these people in Saudi Arabia and Dubai. They ain't even the original Arabs. They came into the country. I had a white man say that last night. Like, what? He telling the truth? White people never tell the truth. Yeah, he came to Saudi Arabia. I told you all them people don't belong there. They're all fake. He said those people, he told me they were wiping their ass with their hands. Same thing I said, which is true. It's historically true. It's white doo-doo with their hands. That's a fact. So not me being disrespectful. Anyway, Africa, it's the system. You got revolution. So you got that type of interest. You can't change it. Oh, I want to go fix it. No, you can't fix the system because it's the white man created it. You must tear the whole system down and bring, like he just said, like even towards you must make things African again. And you cannot be ashamed to be African. The white man's made you be ashamed to be African. Walk around with the goofy wigs on your head and talking this. You must change your whole legal system. Everything they do is wicked. So even the legal system is wicked. Based on you can never get justice unless you got money. So shout out even to Ray. Said we got to change this whole legal system too. We got to go back to what it was before these white people showed up. An African system, because African people, by nature, I know you see the corruption, but that's not who you are. By nature, you're the most just people on the planet. You've been given systems that put you into corruption, but by nature, you're just people. By nature. Go ahead, Joby.
Right.
This is not a story of poverty. This is not a story of lack. This is a story of capture.
Yep.
A continent rich in resources, rich in culture, rich in intellect, yet shocked not by what it doesn't have, but by who controls what it has. Welcome to the age of the Godfather. In many
Calls it the Godfather syndrome.
African nations, power does not flow from the people.
Africans are finally starting to ask the question. They start to know we were never poor before white people are poor. It's just like the other guy said, the Arabs are poor. Africans have always been wealthy. Because you know why? You still all the land with all the resources on your feet and all the best farming land. You always can feed yourself. You always had all the money. That's why I think everybody was invading Africa. And now you're not taught this history. Like, people don't invade poor places. I'm not invading Kibera. Why would I invade Kibera? I wouldn't. You only invade wealthy. So when people go to rob people, they go to the rich areas. That's why they came to Africa, to rob and steal. But the thing is that they stole African people's mind. They fucked your mind up with these stupid religions and everything else. Go ahead, Joe.
The Constitution. It flows from shadows of men and sometimes women, who sit behind the curtain pulling strings, installing leaders, removing leaders, and deciding the fate of millions, without ever appearing on a ballot. They are not elected, but they are obeyed. Exactly. They are not accountable, but they are feared. They are the architects of a silent system, a system where loyalty is currency and competence is a liability. This is the Godfather syndrome. Imagine a nation as a ship. The people are the passengers. The economy is the engine. The government is the crew. But the captain is not the one holding the wheel. The real captain is someone hidden below deck whispering orders, threatening mutiny, and ensuring that the ship never strays from his personal map, even if it sails straight into a storm.
That's the white people.
That's the reality of many African states today. In this system, elections become ceremonies, not choices. Ballot boxes become ritual objects, not instruments of change. And leadership becomes a dead ode not to the people, but to the Godfather who founded the rise. And when a leader owes his seat to a Godfather, he does not govern with vision, he governs with fear. Fear of dismissing the hand that placed him there, fear of losing protection, and fear of exposure. So instead of serving the nation, he services the network. This is why roads are built halfway. This is why hospitals are without equipment. This is why schools produce graduates without skills.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because the goal is not development. The goal is maintenance. Maintain the loyalty, maintain the control, maintain the flow of resources, upwards, not outwards.
Exactly. Upwards the right people.
Godfatherism is not just corruption. It is not just nepotism. It is a parallel government. A government that does not appear in law, but overrides it. A government that does not speak publicly, but is always heard. A government that does not campaign, but always wins. And here is the most dangerous part. This system does not just live in politics. It is reinforced by tribe. It is justified by religion. It is defended by party loyalists. It becomes a culture, a way of thinking.
And pause it. And if these goofy religions, African critical thinking, These goofy religions that you worship, from the fake Christian sanity, the fake Allah shit. Shouldn't Allah and Jesus make you your countries work, make your countries clean and profitable? You had these goofy religions. Why isn't that? But it worked for white. Oh, white people got the money, and the white Arab with his Allah, he got the money in Dubai. Remember, they all broke and fucked up 30, 40 years ago. Even tourists, that's a fact. So they got that fake oil, right? They're all poor and fucked up, impoverished. But now they got money because of oil, but they about to go back into poverty because Iran said we're going to take these motherfuckers back to what they used to be. So, hey. So, but at least Allah can say, hey, work for us in Saudi Arabia and Dubai, because all these places were impoverished. See, that's why I want you to know real history. You worship poor people who brought you goofy religions. Okay, but at least you can say work for them. But why doesn't it work for Africans? Why are you impoverished? You pray and you're going, Allah, Akbar, all that goofy shit. You're saying, oh, Jesus, got Roman. And did you know the Roman church who stole, because anybody gave them no land, you know the Catholic Church got more land in Africa than anybody? This goofy church. Oh, it was all stolen now. You know that, right? And nobody just give the Catholic Church their land. They stole it. And you can Google it. Catholic Church owns more land, not controlled by black people, in Africa than anybody else. Yes. Go ahead, Joe.
They ask, is he one of us? Is he loyal? And who is behind him? When loyalty becomes the highest qualification, incompetence becomes inevitable. And when incompetence controls power, underdevelopment is not just an accident, it is a guarantee. This episode is not just an analysis, it is an exposure. We will peel back the layers of.
So he's asking the question, like I've been told you, how all the, because African people are not stupid. You see, why are all the leaders stupid? Why are the leaders look all stupid? Tinubu, you know he's a moron. Museveni's a fucking moron. That Paul Beer's a moron. That dude in Gabon's a moron. That broad in Tanzania, she's a moron. Ruto's a moron. I think Ruto's more diabolical. The one in Congo, he's a moron. No morons. You talk about how can everybody be a moron? That's on purpose. Go ahead.
Others will install leaders to the structures that protect them, to the societal realities that keep them alive. We will connect the dots from loyalty to incompetence to mismanagement to wastage, to the cycle of underdevelopment that has kept a continent running in circles. But more importantly, we will ask the question many are afraid to ask. Can Africa ever break free from a system that so many benefit from? Or has the Godfather syndrome become too deep, too normalized, too powerful to remove? This is not just politics. This is power. This is control. This is the invisible hand that shifts visible failure. Welcome to the Godfather syndrome.
How shadows rise, they control the tide.
And this is Strength of Africa TV, where truth meets courage, where the past is reawakened and the future of the motherland is reclaimed. Today's episode is titled The Godfather Syndrome, How Loyalty Overrides Leadership in Africa. Let's start with the origin and evolution of Godfatherism in Africa. How this system was built and normalized. Every system, no matter how corrupt, has an origin story. Godfatherism did not fall from the sky. It was not born overnight. It was built step by step, decade by decade, crisis by crisis. To understand the Godfather, you must first understand the vacuum. When many African nations emerged from colonial rule, they inherited states but not strong institutions. They inherited flags but not functional systems.
Exactly. That's why I go back to what was in those papers that these idiots, signed. That's where we go back to history being very important. What these idiots signed. where we're paying pensions, we're importing food, our lands are are controlled, our resources are continuously being renewed, the deals are being renewed. What was it? What was the cost of freedom? That's the question, and I believe that is what he's trying to actually understand here too.
They inherited power, but not the discipline to manage it. So, what happens when structures are weak? Power does not disappear, it relocates. It moves from institutions to individuals. Instead of strong parliaments, you had strong men. Instead of independent systems, you had dependent networks. Instead of rule of law, you had rule of access. Access to who? Access to the one who controls the door. This is where the first Godfather were born. Not always as villains, but as fixers. Men who could navigate chaos. Men who could fund campaigns. Men who could mobilize ethnic or religious bases. Men who could get things done when the systems could not. And when a system fails, people begin to trust those who can bypass it. But here's the shift. The moment where survival turned into control, the fixer became the kingmaker. No longer satisfied with influence, they began to install leaders, handpicked, hand-funded, hand-controlled. Not because they were the best, but because they were the most loyal. And it does not end at the top. Power is not just about who becomes president. It's about who fills the rooms around him. Cabinets are not always built for competence. They are assembled for comfort. Ministers are not always selected for their understanding of policy, but for their history of loyalty. Technocrats who should be the brains of government are sometimes reduced to decoration. Favoritism becomes the filter. Nepotism becomes the criteria. A brother-in-law becomes an advisor. A long-time ally becomes a minister. A party loyalist with limited experience becomes the architect of national policy. And just like that, the system is not just controlled at the top. It is replicated across every layer. In countries like Nigeria, the term godfatherism became not just a concept, but a political reality. Powerful figures behind the scenes openly determined who contested, who won, and who was removed. In some cases, when a godson refused to obey, the same hand that lifted him up was used to tear him down. Loyalty was not optional, it was contractual. And this model did not stay in one country. It spreads like a virus adapting to different hosts. In Kenya, political dynasty began to shape power structures, where family names carried more weight than policy ideas.
The Kenyattas.
In Uganda, a long-standing power network created systems
Museveni.
where access to the center determined survival. In South Africa, factional loyalties within parties often overshadowed national interest. Different countries, different contexts, but the same underlying code. Control power by controlling who gets power. And here is where it becomes dangerously normal. People begin to see it as the only way. Young politicians no longer ask, who do I serve? They ask, who do I align with? Aspiring leaders do not build ideas, they build alliances. Not with the people, but with the powerful. This is how a system becomes culture. And when a system becomes culture, it no longer needs to be enforced. It enforces itself. A voter defends a bad leader because he is our son. A party member ignores failure because we must protect the party. A religious follower justifies injustice because he is anointed. A tribe protects incompetence because we must not lose power. And just like that, the Godfather does not even need to speak. The system speaks for him. Let's look at the case studies. This is not theory. This is not speculation. This is evidence drawn from real events, real people, and real consequences. Let us step out of abstraction and into reality. Case study 1. Control and consequence of your states in Nigeria. In Nigeria, the political conflict between Lamidi Adedibu and Rashid Ladoja, the new Olubadan of Ibadan, exposed the contractual nature of power. A godfather funded the rise, engineered the victory. But when governance began, control was demanded. When that control was resisted, the system responded. Impeachment, pressure, political isolation. The message was simple. You may hold office, but you do not hold power.
And that's what I keep saying about these puppets every single time. You know, how they keep on bragging, and until it's time for them to face the consequences of their action just because of something. I don't know what they always do. Even when they retire, we see them being followed, you know, being accused of things they did when they were in power. Why are you being held accountable years later after you resigned? Yeah, you held office, but you didn't have power. Because I've seen it I always keep talking about, a good example is even just Moi, the late Moi, and even Mwai Kibaki, our third and second president. Their children, they are nowhere visible today in today's politics. In today's politics, they don't even have a say, I tell you. They don't even have a say. As a matter of fact, most of them have walked away from the political system because you don't have enough power. you don't even have power. You know, your time is gone. Your dad is gone. So forget about you. Consider yourself. It's gone. We used you. You did whatever. It's gone. Don't think this is a generation that's going to continue. Family. You know, the Kenyattas. The only people who have maintained that you can see is the Kenyattas. And maybe in other few countries, probably it's still going on. So it's crazy that they never understand that.
Case study 2. Coercion and state breakdown, Anambra. In Nigeria, the dramatic fallout between Chris Uba and Chris Ngigi pushed godfatherism into the extreme. A city governor was abducted, not by outsiders, but through a system designed to enforce loyalty. His crime? Attempting to govern without full submission. This was not democracy under strain. This was democracy overridden. Case study 3. Structured control, Lagos political machine. In Lagos State, the influence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu represents a more sophisticated model. Here, power is not loud, it is organized. Candidates do not just emerge, they are filtered through structure. Governorship aspirants are aligned with a political framework that defines viability. Over time, multiple leaders have risen through this system with expectations of continuity. This is not chaos, it is engineering. But the core principle remains. Access to power is not completely open. The relationship between Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Akinwumi Ambode became a defining moment in the dynamics of structured political control. Ambode, who emerged through the established political machine, was initially seen as a continuation of an ordered succession framework. However, as his administration progressed, signs of policy independence and a perceived deviation from expected political alignments began to create frictions within the power that facilitated its rise. The turning point came ahead of the party primaries, where the support of the established political network shifted away from Ambode. In an unprecedented move for an incumbent governor in the state, he failed to secure the party's nomination for a second term, effectively ending his re-election bid. This episode underscored a critical reality within such systems. Performance in office does not always guarantee political continuity. Alignment with the underlying power structure remains a decisive factor. Case study 4. Dynastic dominance, Kwara's political structure. In Kwara State, The legacy of Olusola Saraki demonstrated how godfatherism can evolve into a political dynasty. For years, political success was closely tied to a single power structure. Endorsement became electability. The system was so deep that it functioned as a political empire, where loyalty outweighed independence. But eventually, the structure faced resistance. A reminder that no system, no matter how entrenched, is beyond challenge. Case 35, Power After Power, Rivers State Dynamics. In Rivers State, the political influence of Nyesom Wike shows the next phase of godfatherism. This is not just about installation, it's about control after exit. Structures are built not just to win power, but to retain influence beyond office. Succession becomes strategic. The key question is not just who can govern, but who can be trusted to protect the network.
Exactly.
And when that trust is uncertain, tension emerges. This is modern godfatherism, post-power dominance. Case 36, structural variance across Africa. This system is not isolated. In Kenya, political legacies linked to figures like Jomo Kenyatta and Daniel Arap Moi shaped long-term access to power. In South Africa, the period associated with Jacob Zuma exposed network-driven influence over state structures. Different countries, different expressions, but the same core idea.
Exactly. Same structures. The bullshit we've been told, oh, we're different. We're not different. Same bullshit. South Africans. Same bullshit. You idiots, anyway, a lack of education is really bad.
Power is not always where it appears.
Hold on, Cordy, calm down.
Lack of education
Now,
is bad.
A look at the chains of allegiance, how tribe, religion, and party loyalty sustain the Godfather system. Power does not survive on force alone. It survives on belief. The Godfather does not rule with an army. He rules with an allegiance. Allegiance that is emotional, not rational. Allegiance that is inherited, not questioned. If Godfatherism is the engine, then tribe, religion, and party loyalty are the fuel. Remove them, and the system stalls. Feed them, and the system thrives. Let us begin with tribe. Tribe, in its purest form, is identity. It is history. It is belonging. But in the hands of politics, it becomes a weapon. In many African states, elections are not contests of idea. They are censuses of identity. Who has the numbers? Who controls the largest ethnic base?
That's what is happening in Kenya currently. They're trying to fuel tribalism.
Who can mobilize our people?
Exactly.
Imagine a hospital where doctors are not hired based on skill, but based on surname. Will you trust the surgery?
Or will you trust that?
Now, imagine a nation where leaders are selected not because they are capable, but because they belong. That is the reality. When tribe becomes the lens, competence becomes invisible. A bad leader from our side is still preferred to a good leader from the other side. And this is where the Godfather smiles, because a divided people are easy to control. Now, religion. Religion is meant to guide morality, to hold power accountable, to speak truth to authority. But in many cases, it has been reversed. It now protects power instead of questioning it. When a political figure is wrapped in spiritual language, criticism becomes blasphemy. Touch not the anointed. He is chosen. God installed him. And just like that, accountability dies in the name of faith. In some instances, religious leaders themselves become power brokers, endorsing candidates, mobilizing followers, and negotiating political influence. Not always for the people, but sometimes for access. When the pulpit and the podium begin to speak the same language, the line between spiritual guidance and political manipulation disappears. And again, the Godfather does not need to campaign. The altar does it for him. Now the party. Political parties are meant to be vehicles of ideas, platforms for policy, instruments for democracy. But in the Godfather system, they become private clubs. Loyalty to party becomes more important than loyalty to country. A leader fails, but the party defends him. A policy collapses, but the party justifies it. A scandal erupts, but the party suppresses it. Why? Because to challenge the leader is to threaten the network. And to threaten the network is to risk exile. The party becomes a shield against criticism, a shield against consequences, a shield against change. And when tribe, religion, and party begin to align, the system becomes bulletproof. But the shield does more than protect, it selects. Within party structures, the right to technical and cabinet positions is really a pure merit process. It is a loyalty ladder.
So generally what he's trying to explain, as we literally wind up with today's conversation, what he's trying to explain is how this system has been structured, and these puppets, unless they are loyal to their masters, you have no, you are nothing. You're only something, and not even something, just because you've been given a certain office, a certain position at a period of certain time, and you have to be loyal. And loyalty is you giving away your resources, ensuring Africans are divided, using tribalism, religion, and educate them as well. You know, all weapons possible to be used for you to maintain loyalty. That is your work. And well explained, this is a system where elections don't work. These are handpicked by these elites. They're handpicked puppets or leaders put in these positions who don't do anything. They're not here to do anything, you know. So Africans, we suffer the same problems from even all these discussions I've just had today, from agriculture to non-working institutions where Museveni is telling you clean the roads, to what we can see here being explained generally about Africa and the political system. We suffer the same problems. And until you understand that, the white people will keep on rejoicing in our division, because that's how they conquer, that's how they thrive, that's how they win, that's how they get rich, that's how they continue with all these wars. So until we understand how important our unity is as Africans, sorry, but this will always be a playground, just like the Kenyan guys say, this will always be our town, like we say in Swahili. You'll always be conned, you'll pay heavy taxes without you questioning, or even if you question, you go back to the same comfortability, because it's the same people, you know. And if you go back to voting, it's the same people are going to be elected in the name of a different name, but it doesn't change anything. So when will we ever be free? That is where actually we should leave it pending. So if time will allow me tomorrow, I'll finish the rest of the video, find even better. But I did love his video personally. It was he broke it down so well, very well explained, and he's explaining to you like one child for you to understand, because Africans are so uneducated like that. He's breaking it to you down like a class one.
That's on purpose. Wait, don't throw all Africans under the bus.
I know, but the facts have to be stated. You know, we're also too grown. We're too grown to be not understanding what is really happening. We're really too grown. You know, we're really too grown. We're so much exposed to the internet right now. We're not living in the 1970s or 80s when there were no phones or internet. You can see that these people clearly, like Ruto, we can clearly see this guy has not done anything, but he's yet out there. You're busy being convinced he has delivered. What has he delivered? What has he delivered? Telling you he's building affordable houses. How many of you in that crowd are living in that affordable houses? None of you even can afford that affordable house. None of you. That you have someone lying to you how they want to build a Singapore. Please wake up. Stop being stupid. Stop being dumb. We're too grown. And sadly, if we can't understand we're too grown, the fact that we are adults, we're grown, and we've been played, we need to understand we've been played and accept it. And now what's the way forward? You know, since we know the truth, what's the way forward? Then we'll keep on demonstrating. One time, which will not change anything. Sorry.
True.
So, yeah. As we wind up, Shatu John Mosquito, thank you for joining me this morning. I see you saying that I just saw the same thing in Ghana. Yeah, it's the same copy and paste of when it floods, it's the same shit. Takataka, they flood with the water and all that, saying that with the women shitting on the beach. This is crazy, disgusting. And the government is saying that there are people pleading
Who,
with the government
wait,
to do something.
who's sitting on the beach? I know
The
the
Ghanaian,
Indians do that.
the
They got
Ghanaian
name.
women.
What?
Imagine,
What?
imagine, imagine that. It's
I don't
crazy.
want to. I don't imagine. Why are they sitting on the beach?
It's
No.
crazy.
God damn.
It's so crazy. But family, that's been our time this morning. Thank you so much for joining. For those who will be catching this on a replay, enjoy the show. Leave a comment, like, share, and of course, subscribe in case it is your first time. Remember, you can download our app on the Google Play Store. Black Hot Fire Network is the name with the fire sign there or the fire logo. And of course, join us on also all our social media platforms so you can catch up all the conversations and what is trending. Support us as well. We have an active cash app. If you love the conversations, you can keep us in these conversations with life. Cash App, Mr. Black on Fire. And of course, we have a
Please
donation
send me
link.
some money. Yeah. I don't want to shit on the beach.
So have yourselves a beautiful day. Peace, and we're out.